So here we go, yeah, so Mikey Way here with the guys from Satan. How are you guys?
Good, thanks. Yeah,
very good after that was a good
brilliant,
show.
Thank you, yeah.
And do you want to just introduce yourselves all very quickly?
I'm Graham English, bass,
Steve
guitar.
Ramsey, guitar.
Brian Ross vocals.
And in your dreams. And how did you find the show?
It was great. You know, it's our first show in France, and
it's the first ever show in France.
We couldn't have picked a bigger gig to do.
It's a nice opener.
Yeah,
really nice opener.
Yeah. Nice introduction.
Where do we go from there?
Hey, I was going to say, there's not really that much you can do.
You're not going to get bigger, are you? You go further up the bill.
Yeah, that's true, that's true. But it was a big crowd.
Hopefully next
it
year.
was fantastic. It was great.
So you started in 1979?
Yeah, when we first got together. Yeah.
In Newcastle. And then in this sort of original new wave of heavy metal bands in Britain.
Yeah.
And then take on the story from there.
Where we did some demos and stuff, and eventually stole Brian from another band. From Avenger, a band called Avenger, and we did the first album.
Liberated.
You're liberated.
It was great for us because we loved Blitzkrieg. So we went to see Blitzkrieg live, you know, in one of the good venues in our hometown. And we're right, we've got to get here.
Yeah.
And we managed to do that, which was great. And we did the first album in 1981, was it?
83.
Was it 83?
Well, back end of 82. I think it was 82 we recorded.
Oh yeah, 82.
So it was 83, and then
because of bad reviews and nobody cared, we sort of went our separate ways. Changed the name and did some other music.
Stuff.
Yeah.
But then the comeback. Now it was 2011.
We were first asked back together in 2005, I think it was.
We did Wagon, yeah.
Yeah. 2004 or 2004.
Without Sean on drums.
And how did that all come about? Like, that's the thing I was really interested in, because that's like it's one of those things where obviously
Is that the thing there?
Yeah, Buzzy thing. It's huge.
just somebody that knew you from the 80s and was like, we should get them.
Yeah, just get them back together. Yeah.
It was just one of those things, and then Ollie from Keep It True.
We did it as a one-off.
Yeah.
And then the guy from Keep It True Festival in Germany wanted to book us, and we just said no for about 5-6 years.
Yeah.
Basically because Sean couldn't do it, because Sean had been in a car accident and shattered his ankle.
I think it's his right ankle, isn't it?
Yeah.
So most drummers lead with a right foot. He leads with his left foot because his ankle's absolutely shattered, you know.
And he had to relearn all the shit, you know.
Yeah.
So until Sean got in touch with us and said, I can play the stuff now.
Yeah.
It was never going to happen again, you know.
But then, so as soon as you got him
as soon
back,
as Sean said that, we had a rehearsal, and then we went, okay, we'll do that Keep It True Festival. But again, it was just going to be a one-off.
Yeah.
And it was so unbelievable.
So what do you keep doing right that you keep getting asked back to these things?
God knows. I don't know. I just think we do what we do well.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of, there's a little bit of respect there, and you come off stage and you go,
yeah,
that was good.
I think the main thing was the amount of young people.
Yeah.
We expected like an old crowd, like our age, you know, think, oh yeah, Satan back, you know, but it was like that, and lots of young people that were singing every word of every song. And you're playing Caught in the Act that you recorded 30 years ago, and there are people singing it at the front, and they're all like 18-year-old.
Yeah, we're born when it came out.
I mean, this is great, you know.
And so you've got a new album now.
Another new one. We're starting to write it probably later. Well, it's written.
Yeah.
Record it later on the air, hopefully for release next year.
For release next year.
But we have to find a space to do it.
Next year, May.
We're just gigging a lot now.
So that's the thing, like you properly got out on tour and
it's just got crazy. I mean, we never expected all this, but we did like a one-off show in Chile, which normally never happens because they say we'd like you to come and play in Chile, and you go, yeah, there was 5 airfares, and they go,
exactly.
That. So expensive, you know.
But these guys got us over, and it was a massive success. And now next year we're doing a full South American tour. Brazil and Colombia and Peru and Uruguay and everywhere. So in the States, we're going out in October. We did the east of the side of the States in April, and it was a success again. So now we're doing the West Coast, and we're doing down Houston and Dallas.
So what do you think the difference is now compared to 1983?
For me, it's the internet.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think what happened in 1983 was we produced an album, and it was different to everyone else. We weren't following the new wave of British heavy metal like all the other bands. We weren't. It didn't sound like that. We sounded different, and I think that was our downfall.
Yeah.
Because the magazines, the two main magazines, we don't like this.
We didn't fit in.
Yeah, we didn't fit in.
And I don't know whether things have changed, but we seem to fit in better now than we did in the 80s.
With the internet, fans can decide for themselves. They don't have to read a review. They can read a lot of fans telling them what an album's like, rather than one guy in a magazine, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference. And I think that's why we're back together and doing so well.
But you've essentially done an anvil without having to have a film or anything like that. You know,
Hey, if somebody wants to make a film, we'll do it.
calling all producers, one band available for
Anyone out there?
I mean, so that is the big thing, and it's like, I mean, the UK. I mean, have you had any traction in the UK, sort of getting back doing shows,
We've played a couple of shows, and the last one we did in London was we did a festival, and it was sold out. We headlined the festival, and it was sold out. It was the same, just packed, and all the fans knew every word, singing the riffs and everything, you know. So we're having success in England as well, which we never had back in the day. You know, it was all shit. It's just.
I mean, I think, did you have some fun? I mean, was it like, were you bigger in Europe at the time?
Yeah, like Holland, Germany, well, our fan base is really, when we first started, still there, but it's just expanded like really drastically now. We're going to Japan later in the year, we're going back to America, we're going back to South America.
We're going to Japan as well.
So you essentially, you've become proper rock stars just 25 years later.
Doing everything we should have done back then.
That's
Probably
good.
would have been nicer to be a bit younger, but do we care? You know, we're just taking it for what it is now. I mean, we're loving it. There's not many people get our age and still doing this, you know.
No, exactly. I mean,
it just means though that we can't wait 30 years to do another one, because we'd all be way too old.
I think the one thing I was going to say, because you like. The one thing sometimes you get bands that come back to kind of the vocals aren't quite there, and the one thing that I noticed from this, the vocals were there, 100%. Every
spot on every
note,
time.
like every it was like boom.
I think it sounds better than ever.
I know, I don't know how you do it. It's amazing.
He's just blushing now.
It's just what I do.
Oh wow!
It's just what I do.
The thing is though, I mean, we're all doing what we do. When you put the five of us together, there's like a chemistry that just makes the whole thing work, and it's great.
A little bit of magic happens.
A little bit of magic, you know. And if you'd been there at the very first rehearsal when we first got back together and listened to what we were doing, you would think we'd only just played together the week before.
Yeah, it would just
it was just there. It's a chemistry, and it, you know,
never goes, does it really? It's just stuck around.
But a lot of bands don't ever get that, and bands that have got it lose it sometimes because, you know, I mean, you look at all of the other bands that have reformed, not one of them's got the original people like we have.
Not the full lineup. Normally it's a compromise. There'll be two members, one member.
That's the only way it would happen for us. It was exactly
the only reason to do it.
Look at Blitzkrieg. I'm the only original member left. The rest of them, it's all different. But it's not the same thing as this, because I mean, you know, Blitzkrieg haven't reformed. We've been there all the time. It's just, you know, I just keep changing the lineup now and again.
keep it in front. Anyway, so there we go. Well, I'll wrap it up in the next 10 minutes. So let's give some message to the fans in the UK. What can we expect from Satan in the next 12 months, 18 months?
Oh,
Can we expect download, Bloodstock, tours?
Bloodstock's actually this year. Bloodstock.
Oh, you done Bloodstock?
No, we're doing it.
We're doing it this year, yeah.
Headlining the
Sophie Lancaster stage.
If they want us to do Glastonbury, we're available.
Yeah, just when you step into headlining Metallica, can't you know?
Well, you know, they're getting a lot of grief at the minute for headlining it, so we'll take over.
We'll do it. We'll sort them out. It's done.
Yeah. Fantastic, cool guys. Well, thank you so much. And,